Good morning, guys. Here's my monthly budgeting rules. I quite often hear the guys citing what their budgets are every month. Let's get into why I think they fail. Last night, guys, I found a vlog. Now, I don't normally update the camera, guys. Too often, like many updates, it changes the settings that are working for you and you got to go back in and redo them all. Anyway, I did find one on white balance, and apparently somewhere since the last one that I've done, it now looks at the sky a little bit differently, and maybe it does a little bit better job on the auto white balance. So I'm hoping that when it shows the blue sky and I'm about to walk in the shade, hopefully it doesn't wash out and go all white, or at least keep some of the blue up there. Okay, so let's get into it right away. Now, what this guy does is he does a good job. He sets his budget, and he's been pretty consistent about that 60,000 pesos, which coincidentally, I cite as well. Now, in that 60,000 pesos, Lynn and I budget our firm costs of 54,000 because we always pay ourselves first. We pay 10% to ourselves. Doesn't mean we can't spend it that month. It doesn't mean we can't spend it. What it does mean is that all of our fixed budgeting, whether it's movies, right now we've got one a month movie crawl to go to Cebu. We haven't done one yet, but that's not the point. We budget those types of things in there. For you, it might be a pub crawl. Anyway, and then that 6,000 pesos that's left over, that's for the what if stuff that happens in life. And, what if a minor trip to the doctor, what if, all the way down the line. Or maybe it's just that we're bored out of our minds and decide to take a trip up to Angeles and see our friends. Wow, big trucks don't usually run on Sundays. So let's get down to why I think they fail on some of the reporting. I'll just use our internet costs as an example. Ours is 500 pesos a month for 5 Mbps through PLDT. That's $10 US based on the threshold. What does it matter whether last month this fellow is citing what it cost him and he's using an exchange rate of 58? Now, this month is my hoochie coo month to say next month when he reports, he has to use 55. 3 peso difference. That's a big chunk difference. So, right off the bat, you can see where the error is going to come in, that if somebody's sitting back in Texas or in Munich, Germany, or, London, England, wherever you might be, New York, and you're trying to figure out whether you're going to come here and you want to know this stuff in US dollars, the very first thing you have to cite, exchange rates change, guys. I can't really tell you what it's going to cost you for your internet based on US dollars because it's changing every month. So based on the threshold, this is how Ken and Lynn are doing it. They tell you what the threshold is, and then they tell you what your costs are based on that. Because it means nothing. If it goes to 58 and the threshold is 50, it means nothing because we save that 8 pesos. Because one day it's going to be below 50, like a year and a half to 2 years ago when it was 47. And now you need 3 pesos a month to offset your budget. Okay, so, that's all cool and everything, guys. But just remember that if you're watching some of these vloggers and you say to yourself, the internet's only $10 this month, 2 years from now, it might be $12, $15, depending on what, the exchange rate is. I got to get in the shade. Ooh, it's a hot day today. So, that's kind of the key here, right? Now, I want to digress a little bit off of that because there you go, you got your budget and etc. In our case, we have a pension that is more than that 60,000 pesos a month. It's just that we don't spend it. So there we come with the exchange rates again and say that when you're above your threshold, send, 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 and every one of those pesos over the threshold, you're saving, right? So there's going to be some fluctuation in there. You might get really lucky and see 58, and then, you know, those first ones that you sent were at 51, and you're going, oh, well, it could have gone down to 47 again too, guys. It could have. You know, nothing to say how these cycles are going to go. I did cite on the 60 peso. I said, I doubt it, and it's sure as hell not going to shoot up to 80 like some speculators were doing. That was just a fool's errand. Never go by the speculators. Always capitalize. Be like a Las Vegas professional gambler. Take your money off the table when you can. Right? That's how it works. Let's get into when it's below the threshold. When it's below the threshold, hopefully you've got enough savings. Just keep spending pesos. Leave your money in your native country. Don't send it. Just keep building it up. And then when it goes over and it hits 51, and now you've got maybe $10, $12, $15,000. Now you've just capitalized nicely. And that's what Lynn and I do. That's what we do. As a matter of fact, our budget that's sitting in this country right now, because the exchange rates have been so good, we have 3 years of living money sitting here right now. That's what our goal is. We're not leaving the Philippines. I'm not. You know, yes, we spend 6 months here, 6 months there, but that's not the point. The point is our budget while we were here is set, and it's set on good money. All right, so there we go. Now, what's the next step? Insurance, health insurance. Everybody's going to be a little different. If you're a single guy, you could get health insurance. Just make sure it's the type that the hospital will honor, that when you walk through the door, you don't have to pay a centavo. You just walk out. Maybe there's a small administration fee or whatever, but that's it, and you walk out. Okay, that's the kind of insurance that you want. Otherwise, you better have the money in the bank, because like a lot of travel insurance, you pay first, you get reimbursed later. So if you think your insurance is going to cover you, that could very well be. Some hospitals, you know, they push the limits on this new rule. You're not allowed to be held in the hospital. But they did with other people in the past. Can't leave the hospital until you pay your bill. And you don't think that they'll push that to the nth degree with foreigners? Probably will. Who knows? I'm speculating on that. So throw that out. But my opinion on insurance is that, let's say your annual cost is, let's say $1,000, again, to use round numbers. You know, that's 60,000 pesos, again, to use round numbers. And what that is it's going to cover you and everybody else that you want covered. It's going to cover them all. Hey, Pa. Lynn's dad is here now. And, you know, there's the case in point. We were going to get insurance. Lynn was going to cover her dad. Wilbert was going to cover his mom. And we were going to have health insurance. But you know what? As soon as we cranked the numbers, because, you know, we were thinking that's the way to go. We cranked the numbers. You know what? What if a niece or a nephew got hurt? That's a serious amount of money every year that's being put out to cover 2 elderly people. No, we put the money in the bank and we self-fund it, because then it is there for any emergency, for any family member. And family members outside the immediate family, they don't know nothing about that money. Because as soon as somebody gets sick in the Philippines, can you contribute? Can you contribute? Can you contribute? And depending on who they are, as soon as you've contributed, you're done. You're not going to get your money back, but I guarantee a lot of the other family members are going, okay, you're healthy now. Start to repay us. So be careful on your money, guys. You know, there's all sorts of different reasons. You know, you may give your lady a budget or whatever that she works with. She has some mad money if she's not working or you don't want her to work. Lynn's one of these people who wants to work. And in the background, there's the fruits of her labor. Right there. I'm not paying for that, guys. She is. she's firm on that one. I'm proud of her for it. You know, I mean, she's working just above minimum wage jobs in Canada. But in the Philippines, she can afford to buy a house now. But we budget all the way through. Unlike a lot of Filipinos who just keep sending money every month, good or bad exchange rates, and family members all quit work and all that sort of thing. Ay, Zabiga. Okay, guys, that's enough of a rant for today. But just remember, budget everything based on the thresholds, save everything above the threshold, and bank it so that you can ride through those lean times. Later, Gators.